That will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own.
Not your average nigga, I'm a god out the hood. They can't downplay me, I came up, I'm elevated. I ain't gotta say too much for them to know I'm coming for what's mine. You know they see me in my presence, say they see how I'm coming. Young, but you not just gonna finesse me like you did my peoples. Them back when you said they was emancipated. This ain't that. Your head too big, you feeling yourself. The game wasn't fair, you had the advantage, we wasn't educated. I don't look at you people the same. Nah. Your worst nightmare, my skin tone about them chains. Yeah. Not no circus lion, son, I can't be tamed. You gon' have to kill me, pussy, Toby ain't my name. Y'all still want us think our history started when we were slaves? What? Come on now, talk about them pyramids we made. I was chosen by that man, you know y'all just been running game. The nerve of you acting like...
Peace, family. This is your brother King Cam, and welcome back to Shifting the Culture Podcast. I am your host, and tonight we are going to be diving into some news. We're going to be diving into some information. We're going to be talking about some trending topics or trending information, but we're going to always try to highlight the principles. And, you know, here on Shifting the Culture, we want to see how we can address the situation in a better manner. So first, I want to hit the comment section. Shout out to everybody that's going to be tuning in from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Shout out to the whole family. Facebook family, I need you to like and I need you to share. YouTube, I need you to comment, I need you to like, and I need you to subscribe. I need you to comment, like, and subscribe on YouTube. All right, family, because we building up the fam over there. And while we doing that, let me share out this link. If you're not on the text list, if you're not on our community text list, family, you need to be there. I'm going to say that again. If you're not on the community text list, you need to be on the community text list so that you can get the updates and you can get everything directly to your phone. All right? You can get everything directly to your phone. All right? So that's the power of being on the community text list. And the goal is to get 100 people in the community. When we get our first 100 people in the community, I've got something lined up very special for those first 100 people that tap in to Shifting the Culture as we use our platform to change the current condition and the viewpoint of the perspectives that we have in society today. So, but you already know we got to get into the music aspect of the show. We got to get into the music aspect of the show before we even get into what we're going to talk about tonight. If you see the title, you've probably seen the explosive video put out by Tasha K. But before we get into all of that stuff, Tasha K, Will Smith's best friend, we're going to get into some of that good music that we always providing here on Shifting the Culture Podcast by, dope artists. By dope artists, all right? So let me go ahead and drop this record that I always play on the show called Rebellious by my brother and friend Golden Child, and then we'll be back and we'll get into the show tonight.
There can never really be justice on stolen land. Are you really for peace and equality? Or when my car is hooked up, no, you want to follow me. Your laws are minimal because you won't even think about looking at the real criminal.
You know. Yes, sir. The victory belongs to the righteous. Our power is in our unity. Yeah. Look, when you see me coming, know it's serious. Am I really like that? Ask the trenches if you curious. I still laugh and know how to have a good time. Just gotta ask God to forgive us for how we get when we furious. Masculine, he, him, his. Yeah, I'm on that. Try to cancel.
Hold on. Wait. Before we even do that, family. Matter of fact, we not doing that. This is what we about to do. All right? Let me move this out the way. Okay. This is what we about to do. Because the audio gives us no justice. All right? Audio gives us no justice. My brother got the visuals out for us. So Let me get that visual up for the family. Let me get that visual up. Get that visual up for everybody. Oh, there you go right there. Boom. And then we're going to run that back. All right? We got to do this all the way right. We're going to do this all the way right. All right, cool. Oh, let me turn this up. All right, boom. All right, here we go.
It's on stolen land. Are you really for peace and equality? Or when my car is hooked up, no, you want to follow me. Your laws are minimal.
Here we
But
go.
you won't even think about looking at the real criminal.
This is how we do it. This is how we do it.
You know, a lot of commentary. The victory belongs to the righteous.
Yeah.
Our power is in our unity. Yeah. Look, when you see me coming, know it's serious. Am I really like that? Ask the trenches if you curious. I still laugh and know how to have a good time. Just gotta ask God to forgive us for how we get when we furious. Masculine, he, him, his. Yeah, I'm on that. Try to cancel me, you might get canceled. You should know that. No, I can't let them castrate me. No, sir, they won't pay me for my manhood. Keep it, we don't want that. U.S. soldiers come home and the people thank them for their service. If they knew how many lives we saved, they thank us for our service. Save some people's lives that might not ever know we saved them. Long as Allah pleased with how we out here working, then it's always worth it. Look, please don't get us confused. Yeah, we pushing peace, but we get busy, we get violent too. Got some brothers with the movement, but they ain't got all they screws. We just found the truth and we with Allah come against us and you bound to lose. Can't say I ain't warn you, can't say I ain't tell you. Come through with them ones, with them members called us failures. Grew up in the trenches, but it turned us into warriors. Mama, I was born to buck the system, I'm rebellious for sure. Look, they ask me, is this real or is this for the cameras? A lot of brothers say they fire people, but really be scammers. If all the work I put in was on camera, you would have that answer. What I look like doing this for clout, look, I got higher standards. I don't need 100 soldiers with me, I got God with me. Still pull up deep to show the brothers unified with me. Know some brothers ready for whatever that's gonna ride with me. Got some real dedicated members on this side with me. Youngin' out his mind, off a pill, he think he's Superman. Off a pill, he get way out his body, think he's Super Saiyan. He just trying to escape the pain for real, escape reality. Streets depressing, you can lose your mind and you can lose your head. Promise we been getting the trench together though for sure that, They trying to tell us what to do, respectfully we know that, Lot of commentary from them people on the sidelines. All that stuff they like to talk about, we really on that. So look, please don't get us confused. Yeah, we pushing peace, but we get busy, we get violent too. Got some brothers with the movement, but they ain't got all they screws. We just found the truth and we with Allah come against us and you bound to lose. Can't say I ain't warn you, can't say I ain't tell you. Come through with them ones, with the members called us failures. Grew up in the trenches, but it turned us into warriors. Mama, I was born to buck the system, I'm rebellious for sure.
Mama, I was born to buck the system, I'm rebellious for sure. Mama, I was born to buck the system, I'm rebellious for sure.
Hey, that's that rebellious.
Look, this is
That's that rebellious right there, family. See, man, I feel like I don't do the record justice when I just do the audio. You know, when I just do the audio, don't feel like I do the record justice. So when we have an opportunity to go ahead and show those visuals, we definitely gonna show those visuals. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into. Oh, let me get this pulled back up. Let me get that pulled up right there. Boom. Okay. So, you know, gotta have everything represented. I know I've been noticing certain things on my clips that I be forgetting to do during the show. So now I'm double checking. I'm going back so I get make sure I got my logo down at the bottom, all that, because I've been having to add it to the videos because I didn't have it already set up. All right, family. So, all right, man, we got to do the check-in. We got to do the check-in from across the country. Where y'all checking in from? Make sure you tapping in. Let me see. You hit the comment section. Let me know what city and state that you tuned in from. Hit the comment section. Let me know what city and state you tuned in from. The closed window. It's a little brisky up in here. All right, a little brisky up in here, family. All right, so I am looking for. Great. Can never find this stuff when you need it. I swear it's got to be earlier. I know it's up in here somewhere. Great. Anyways, so a lot of people are aware of the latest information that we received via Tasha K and the quote unquote best friend of Will Smith. Now, of course, you know we're not doing any gossiping, so this don't have nothing to do with what brother does or doesn't do in the bathroom. What we want to do, bedroom. What we want to do is we want to highlight the principle, though. There's always principles in all of these different things that take place. So first, I want to go ahead and play the video so that you all can know exactly what we're talking about. Then you know that we're going to have the minister come on and he's going to give us some insight, and then we're going to dive into that a little bit more. So let me get this pulled up right here. What? Yeah. Yo, that's crazy. They did a whole 2-hour. They did a whole 2-hour lecture. I mean, not 2-hour lecture, but a whole 2-hour interview on this. All right, so let me get this pulled up, and then we're going to go from there. All right, so here we go, family. Listen, let me know what city and state you're tuning in from. Let me know what city and state you're tuning in from.
You see the hundreds of celebrities that I've done business with, done things with. And during the latter years of our relationship, Will was not my friend. I was his friend. I was around before they had Trey. Jada was the woman that everybody wanted. And Will needed that validation to have that type of woman.
You saw her say that Will Smith had a small dick?
Oh, I am saying to you, if a woman is used to something the size of a baby leg and you come in with a pinky toe, there's nothing you can do to please her. You can buy her 80 cars, you can get her 80 private jets. If she's itching for that baby leg, she want that baby leg. You can beat a person so much that they fall into submission.
And who needs enemies when they got friends like you?
Oh, I could tell you what goes on the inside. Everybody else is just speculation.
Somebody told me I made my pictures in the book.
Your picture's in the book and your name is in the book. So you're doing some real elegant pimp. I'm blowing you up.
I love that.
I'm blowing you up.
This is what Jada makes the new people do. And I ain't gonna say new, they probably been there after myself, right? They will make you check into a rehab. And they'll pay for the rehab. Even though you're not on drugs, they're gonna pay for the rehab. And you have to go if you want to work with them. And then I've saw sexual acts that I walked in on.
Who'd you walk in on?
Him and Dwayne Martin.
Okay.
Hollywood is the hurry up and wait game. So 3 minutes later, after them telling me, hey, you got eyes on Will, we need him to come watch this. So I'm running all over the studio. He's not in his dressing room. I go to the cafeteria. I'm like, but I see his car there. I'm like, where's this guy at? So now I'm holding Dwayne down too. So I have the keys to his dressing room. So I'm like, yo, and they're calling I'm on walkie-talkie and they're calling my cell phone. Yo, we need to get Will here. And I'm like, yo, kind of fuck down. Like, I'm trying to find this. Like, this is unlike him, right? So, all right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will.
All right, so we're not going to get all the way up into all of that because, again, like I said, it's not about gossip. It's not about gossip on that aspect. Whatever Tasha K do is what Tasha K do. What we do at Shifting the Culture is we highlight the principles. We highlight the ways in which shifting the culture can change the way we view these particular things. And what we all just saw is just a clip of a 2-hour interview Tasha K did with the quote unquote best friend or former best friend, old best friend of Will Smith. And it makes me just think about, who outside of the things that you're doing, like in your personal business. I'm not talking about that. But just the fact that people who you confide in with your personal business, this has to really make us think about those who we tell our personal business to. And the reason why is because people, for whatever reason, become dissatisfied for whatever reason or whatever the case may be. And then they'll take personal information or personal things that they know about you and use it against you. I don't know what Will Smith does or doesn't do in his personal time, in his personal residence. So that's neither here nor there. But the fact that you have somebody who claims to have been, and looks like, because he has the proof of it, been with Will Smith a long time. When he was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I mean, knew the brother for a long time. For you to come out now and just forget what you're saying, like the shock of what you're saying, but just the fact that you get on a platform and you blab your mouth about somebody else's personal business. Somebody else's personal business. But guess what? This is something that runs rampant throughout the community in general. Slack, gossip, backbiting, all this type of talk. If you notice, some of the biggest media platforms are ones that share gossip, celebrity gossip, Hollywood gossip. Any gossip or any public figure, any business about public figures is put on Front Street on these media sites, on these blog sites, and these have the largest followings. These have the most views. Shade Room has a large amount of views, a very huge following from posting majority gossip. Think about that. Think about it. And something is coming in my mind as I'm talking about this. For the family that's just coming in, I need everybody to Philly in the building. What's going on? Shout out to Philly in the building. What's going on? And tell Alex, the sister Alexia, I appreciate Sister Alexia for tuning in because she helps a lot behind the scenes with the podcast. So she just came on board like a week ago. So she's been helping us try to get everything organized and things like that. So shout out to Sister Alexia for doing that. All right, family, I need you to like, share, subscribe. Need you to go ahead and get this out to as many people as possible. Let's get our views up in here. But slander, backbiting, and gossiping. That's what we see a lot of, and that's what gets most of the attention. All right? That's what gets most of the attention. But why is that? Well, we got to really ask ourselves that. Why do we love slander, gossip, backbiting so much? Why do we love it so much? So, first, I want to go into the Holy Quran. Because the Holy Quran gives us a lot of insight on this. All right? It says in Surah 24, Section 2. Okay? And it's going to go into talk about specifically Aisha's slanderers. All right? Specifically Aisha's slanderers. So it says, surely they who concocted the lie are a party from among you. Deem it not an evil to you, nay, it is good for you. For every man of them is what he has earned of sin. And as for him among them who took upon himself the main part thereof, he shall have a grievous punishment. Why did not the believing men and the believing women, when you heard it, think well of their own people and say, this is an evident falsehood? See, so this is dealing with slander. This is dealing with backbiting, specifically with Aisha now, but we can apply this to what's going on with this brother that claims to be Will Smith's ex-best friend or whatever the case may be. Peace to the gods. What's going on? What's happening, brother Steve? Brother Steven says Surah 49. We're gonna be in Surah 24 for this particular situation. But you definitely could use other areas of the Holy Quran for this as well. But look, check this out. So now it's talking about the slanderers of Aisha. And just to give an overall story of what's going on here, an overall preview, a summary of what's going on here. See, Aisha was one of the wives of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And there was a situation where she was out and she was seen with many men, and it was reported back to the prophet that she had committed adultery. And as we read through this story in Surah 24, in section 2, it highlights how slander, gossip, and backbiting can put you in a bad position. And then we can also get into Surah 49. So right here it says, surely they who concocted the lie are a party from among you. Very important. Deem it not an evil to you, nay, it is good for you. Every man of them is what he has earned of sin, and as for him among them who took upon himself the main part thereof, he shall have a grievous chastisement. Why did not the believing men and the believing women, when you heard it, think well of their own people and say, this is an evident falsehood? See, what the Quran is asking us is if we're believing men or believing women, and just take believing men out of it and believing women out of it for those who are not religious. Okay. But if you are a real man and a real woman, a real friend to your circle, when somebody brings you information, then the Holy Quran says, when you heard it, why didn't you think well of your own people and say that this is an evident falsehood? Have you noticed anytime there's any type of celebrity gossip or just gossip in general? It don't even have to be celebrity gossip. It can be just gossip in general. But when somebody brings you some information or you hear somebody talking about somebody else, then none of the parties ever say, no, I don't believe that. You might have some people that say, I don't believe that. But most people want to indulge that particular thing that's being said about that person and continue to blow it up. So most of the time we don't say that this is an evident falsehood. Most of the time we don't say, you know what? I need to double check that because I don't know if that's to be true. Especially because 9 times out of 10, the person that's being talked about isn't even present. That's another story. But we should ask, is this an evident falsehood? Especially if you call yourself, if you say you're a friend. And then for those who are religious, this is talking about believing men and believing women. When you heard it, think well of their own people and say, this is an evident falsehood. It goes on to say, why did they not bring forth witnesses of it? Why did they not bring forth witnesses of it? So as they have not brought witnesses, they are liars in the sight of Allah. So see, what we have going on with Will and his best friend and now Tasha K is whatever transpired between Will and the best friend is one thing. But now the best friend is coming out, and the first thing he decides to do is go to Tasha K podcast, knowing that what she has on her podcast is really about gossip and stories about exposing other individuals. And he comes and he brings this information. Now, the question that we should ask is, do he have any supporting evidence or bringing any witnesses that can confirm his story?
Stop the cap.
Yeah, my bad. To confirm his story. Because if not, then it's
stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit.
No, that's real talk. That's right. Thank you, Brother Steven. She lost her bracelet. They went back to find it, and the so-called believers lied on her. That's absolutely right. And they were jealous of her and concocted the lie to defame her character. Thank you, Brother Steven. That's exactly what happened. I forgot what it was because they was out in the desert. It was out in the desert, and then they had to go back. And it was because she lost her bracelet. And when the quote-unquote believers saw her out there with other men, they went back and told the prophet that she was with other men, trying to destroy her character, right? So we have to ask ourselves about those particular circumstances and how it played and how it's affected this situation with Will and the best friend, and how it's affecting all other situations that this occurs in. Because as I mentioned, this isn't just dealing with celebrities. This is dealing with us on a personal level. So now the Holy Quran says, why did they not bring 4 witnesses of it? So as they have not brought 4 witnesses, they are liars in the sight of Allah. So Allah is saying, if you don't have at least 4 witnesses or 4 people that can bear witness or that can confirm your story, then you're lying. If you notice that many of these gossip blogs, they don't necessarily bring any other supporting evidence to a lot of this stuff that they substantiate. Now, some stuff they have court documents, they have text messages and things like that. But the Holy Quran says 4 witnesses. You need 4 people to come and say that this took place. You need to have 4 people on text message, 2023 social media. You have 4 DMs from 4 different people corroborating this particular story. If you don't have at least 4, then the Holy Quran condemns you as a liar. Now, this is just getting good, and we didn't even get into other stuff. We got the minister coming up. We got some other information that I want to talk to you all about. I want to get into the attitude and the mindset of those of us who consume this type of information, because it's not just because the Shade Room or Neighborhood Talk or any of these gossip blogs have a following on their own. The people are following them so that they can consume this type of content. The people are following them so they can consume this type of trash content. We'll get to that later, though, family. So I need those who just tuning in. Welcome to Shifting the Culture Podcast. I'm your host, Brother King Cam. Tonight we're talking about the explosive news that was dropped on Tasha K about Will Smith and Dwayne Martin. And the best friend is exposing all this information. And of course, we're not sitting up here gossiping about Will Smith or what he does in his personal life. We don't have any evidence. We don't have 4 witnesses, right? But what we are talking about is the principle and really the character of a person who would even go on a platform and just start blabbing your mouth about another person's business. But then also getting into some of the areas where, again, gossip, backbiting, and slack talking is just not good. So the Holy Quran has said, first of all, if this is really your friend, or if you're a believing man or a believing woman, the first thing you should do when you hear gossip about a person is you should not even believe it. You should think that it's an evident falsehood. The Quran says, why did not the believing men and the believing women, when you heard it, think well? Think what? Think well of their own people, think well of your friends, think well of your circle, think well of your family, and say this is an evident falsehood. So the first thing that you're supposed to do is think well of your own people and then proceed to believe that this is an evident falsehood. But after you do that, then the person that brings you the information should do what? They should produce 4 witnesses. The Holy Quran says this. Why did they not bring 4 witnesses of it? So that's the next thing. You need to find out if they have 4 witnesses of this particular thing that they're talking about. Whatever happened, whatever went down. Okay, cool. Do you have 4 witnesses? If you don't have the witnesses, the Holy Quran says, so as they have not brought witnesses, they are liars in the sight of Allah. So that should have been the end of it. So if you talking to somebody and they gossiping to you about another person and they don't have 4 witnesses, that's the end of it. They don't have 4 text messages, 4 DMs from 4 different people substantiating what they saying, they're lying. But let's go further into this because it gets heavier. We just getting warmed up. We just getting warmed up, family. Brother Steven. That's right. What was his motive? Wa alaikum salam, Sister Love. It's good to have you, sister. Good to have you tapped in. All right, family. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Please hit the comment section. Let me know what city and state that you tuned in from. All right. So now, this is verse. We just went over verse 11, 12, and 13. Now, this is 14 right here. And it says, and were it not for Allah's grace upon you and his mercy in this world, and the hereafter, a grievous chastisement would certainly have touched you on account of the talk you indulged in. See, now it's getting right to you and me, those who lended ear to the gossip. Because it's one thing of the gossiper, the defamer, and the slanderer. What they doing, they already have a chastisement for them. But the God is now talking to you, the one who lended the ear and engaged in the conversation with the defamer. See, the gossip don't have no energy to grow if you don't indulge in the conversation. Wait a minute. See, the gossip don't have nowhere to go and nowhere to grow if you don't indulge in the conversation. The problem is, though, we love it, so we indulge in it. But what does the God say about indulging in this type of conversation? He says, and were it not for Allah's grace upon you and his mercy in this world and the hereafter, a grievous chastisement would certainly have touched you on the account of the talk that you indulged in. Think about that. If it wasn't for the grace and mercy of Allah in this world and the hereafter, a grievous chastisement, not some light, not a little slap on the wrist, not a little tap, but a grievous chastisement would certainly have touched you. Not probably touched you, certainly have touched you on account of the talk that you indulged in. So what does that mean? Means that you got to be careful the conversations you even indulge in. Yeah, this gossip, backbiting, slack talk thing is heavy because Tasha K is indulging in the conversation with the best friend. See, the best friend is the defamer and the gossiper and the slanderer. Because see, he hasn't produced 4 witnesses as of yet, as we know. Allegedly, everything he's saying is alleged right now. So he hasn't produced 4 witnesses. But Tasha K is indulging in the conversation. So the Holy Quran says, if it wasn't for the grace and the mercy of Allah in this world and the hereafter, a grievous chastisement would have certainly touched you on account of the talk that you indulged in. But this ain't just dealing with Tasha K. How many times you and I indulged in these conversations? How many times have you and I lended an ear to the gossip? See, so it puts a responsibility, better yet, an accountability on those of us who even listen and indulge in these type of conversations. All right. So shout out to Philadelphia in the building. We got Philly in here heavy tonight. Yeah, we got Philly in here heavy tonight. Brother Stephen said, think well of them, but you are commanded to investigate carefully, and the liars are to be shunned from the community of the believers. That's a fact. So shout out to Sister Love. We got Philadelphia heavy in the building. We got Vegas on deck. My brother Roy, always tuning in. Appreciate you, brother, from Vegas, all the way tuned in. That's right. Sister Mellon said, entertain it. Yeah, how many of us entertain the gossip? Entertain the lies, entertain the defamation. So the Holy Quran now says what? What else does it say? What else is it telling us? It says when you received it in your, oh my God. It says when you received it on your tongues and spoke with your mouths, that which You had no knowledge. And you deemed it a trifle, while with the law, it was serious. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Boy, I'm going to have to teach this on a Wednesday night. I'm going to have to teach this. on a Wednesday night. This slander and gossip is heavy. These verses right here, I'm going to read that one again. Because some of us don't understand how serious this is. So the God is telling us, it says that when you received it on your tongues, meaning when you began to indulge and started to talk about this and spoke with your mouths that which you had no knowledge, and you deemed it trifle, while with the law it was serious. See, trifle is not is small. Let's get the definition of trifle. I want to get that definition, and so that we can break down these words, because we don't want to misrepresent. We don't want to misrepresent. So what does trifle mean? The definition of trifle: a thing of little value or importance. A thing of little value or importance. That's the definition of trifle. So the Holy Quran says that when you received it on your tongues and spoke with your mouths that which you had no knowledge of, and you deemed it trifle, you deemed it of little value or importance. See? While with the law, it was serious. See, so you thought what you was saying and what you was engaging in a conversation that you was having was of little value or importance. But with the God, with the creator of the heavens of the earth, it's very serious when you start gossiping and backbiting about other people. And that's just real talk, family. That's just real talk. See, we don't even understand how we transgress against God in our everyday activities. Now, all of this is taking place when somebody brings you information about another person that you don't know if it's true or not. So it's gossip. Then you engage in the gossip, and then you start a conversation about the gossip. Now you're in trouble. So it says, and why did you not, when you heard it, it beseems us to not talk of it. Glory be to thee. This is a great calumny. Man, let's look at calumny, because we got to clear the words now. We got to clear the words. We have to clear the words. Calumny, right, means what? The making of false and defamatory statements about someone in order to damage their reputation. Slander. Come on, Holy Quran. Come on, talk to us some more. Teach us some more. So what is it saying? It says this. It says, and why did you not, when you heard it, it beseems us not to talk of it. So when you heard this stuff, when you heard this trash, this garbage that's being said to you about your brother, about your sister, about your mother, about your cousin, about your best friend, about somebody you used to hang out with, about your coworker, why did you even talk of it? See, it says, glory be to thee. This is a great calumny. So when you start talking about this stuff, it becomes slander. It becomes defamation. When you begin to talk about things that could be harmful to a person's character, a calumny, the making of false and defamatory statements about someone in order to damage their reputation. That's a calumny. So when they said this is a great calumny, when you engage in gossip and slander, you're engaging in the making of false and defamatory statements about someone in order to damage their reputation. Oh, did you hear me? Did you hear what I said? This is what takes place when we like to sit up there and we had a group chat and we talking about what this person doing or what that person doing. When we had those conversations with our friends and we just bumping our gums for hours on the phone, we ain't talking about no knowledge. We're not talking about no wisdom that we don't receive. We're not talking about how we changing the condition of our people. We're not talking about how we changing our financial condition. We're not talking about how we going to fund these businesses, how we going to up this credit. We're not talking about none of that. But we literally on the phone for 2-3 hours talking about somebody else. Defamation of character on somebody else. And if they knew about it, then they could sue you. Defamation of character, gossiping, backbiting, slander other people. The Holy Quran is making it plain today. Made it plain. I'm going to run it back just so we can get an understanding. Then we're going to hear from the minister. I don't know if brother, if Will best friend knew. Somebody better tell him. Slow down, brother. Slow down. So it says, when you received it on your tongues and spoke with your mouths that which you had no knowledge of, and you deemed it trifle, meaning you deemed it of little value or of importance. Little importance or little value. While with Allah, it was serious. And why did you not, when you heard it, say it beseems us not to talk of it? So when you hear stuff like that, you're supposed to say, I don't even want to talk about that. I don't even want that in my ears. Right? Glory be to thee. This is a great calumny. Meaning this is the making of false statements to defame one's character. Allah admonishes you that you return not to the like of it ever again if you are believers. So if this occurred before, all of us have fallen short of the glory of God. So you make mistakes. But now the Holy Quran is saying, once it happens, don't return to it ever again. Don't return to it ever again, meaning don't continue to have this same behavior. See? That's right, Brother Stephen. There's no small thing when a person's character is at stake. Because what happens is, what people fail to realize is the power of the things that they say, even when they accuse, when they make accusations. And they put this out here in the public. Once it's out there, regardless if you are innocent or guilty, it doesn't matter. Because now the character has been diminished. Now the person's character and their reputation is at stake. And even if they come out with being found not guilty, the character has taken a blow. The brand has taken a blow. The person has taken a blow. So this is why the government and this is why the enemy will falsely accuse our leaders of certain things, not because they want to take them to court because they're guilty. They're just defaming the character. They are taking chips at and taking shots at the reputation of a person. Because they know if they can damage the reputation, they can damage the magnetism of a person that's leading the masses of the people, especially in the right direction. So the enemy, Satan, always wants to diminish the magnetism of the one who has been sent to destroy his world. Hold on. He always wants to do that. There's a character assassination. See, crucifixion or crucifixion does not or is not always physical. Did you hear what I said? A crucifixion is not something that's always physical. As a matter of fact, the crucifixion that took place in the Bible of the Jesus wasn't physical at all. Wasn't physical. It wasn't physical, family. Crucifixions can be carried out on people through character assassination. Through character assassination, family. See? Very important, Brother Stephen said, even if it's the truth, the public is not the place for it. Absolutely. Because again, it damages a person's reputation. So what's your motive for you saying these things? So it says it says, and this is verse 18, it says, and Allah makes clear to you the messages, and Allah is knowing wise. Those who love that scandal should circulate respecting those who believe, for them is a grievous chastisement in this world and the hereafter, and Allah knows why you know not. And were it not for Allah's grace on you and his mercy, and that Allah is compassionate, merciful. All right? So that's the Holy Quran on slander. And it goes more into slander and things of that nature. But now we want to get into the words of the minister. I'm going to play some words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on slander and gossip. And I want to just shout out Brother Ben for the clip. Because, you know, you used to get on YouTube and you could just, you could type in the minister and the clips will pop up. Now, you got to fish. You got to fish to try to find these clips. I mean, you got to do a deep dive to try to find these clips of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So here is the minister speaking about gossip and slander. All right? Let me get this pulled up. Whoops. Not Google.
The minister. And Ben tells them about the minister. This is for Muslims. All of you are Muslims. Oh, you who believe, if you believe in the truth, this is for you. When you confer together in private, give not to each other counsel of sin and revolt and disobedience to the messenger, but give to each other counsel of goodness and observance of duty. How many times did you meet together in your home or in a restaurant with you and your pals? How many times do you talk and talk negative about somebody?
Come on, Brother Minister.
It doesn't seem like you're even having a good conversation. Tell the truth. Unless you're talking about somebody.
Come on, come on, come on.
Well, I don't think that so-and-so is so-and-so. Did you hear that? Man, this stuff goes on.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with those kind of conversations? Do they lift you up? No. They tear you down. Why then engage in it? It's a waste of time. If I'm your brother and I offend you, who should you come to? Who should you come to? Exactly. Why do you go to somebody else about something that somebody else did? See, this backbiting and slander is a hateful thing, but it tears us down from within. See, this is the way the white man is going to try to work, brothers and sisters, on the nation. He must destroy my base of support, not only in the people, but destroy my base of support among the Muslims. Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben.
Thank you, Brother Ben. Appreciate you, brother, for providing the clip for the family, for the Shifting the Culture family. Always good to tap in with the Brother Ben X. All right, so look, minister broke that down. Y'all want to hear that again? Y'all want to hear the minister again? Where he laid into that whole backbiting and gossiping piece, you know? Because, you know, that's what we like to do. We like to go get together with the brothers and the sisters, and we're going to talk about some people. That's what we're going to do. Not talk about the teachings. We're going to talk about some people. Let me get that up. Let me get the minister pulled back up. Shoot, come on, brother minister.
Ben tells them about the minister. This is for Muslims. All of you are Muslims. Oh, you who believe, if you believe in the truth, this is for you. When you confer together in private, give not to each other counsel of sin and revolt and disobedience to the messenger, but give to each other counsel of goodness and observance of duty. How many times did you meet together in your home or in a restaurant with you and your pals?
Mm-hmm.
How many times do you talk and talk negative about somebody? It doesn't seem like you're even having a good conversation. Tell the truth. Unless you're talking about somebody. Well, I don't think that so-and-so is so-and-so. Did you hear that? Man, this stuff goes on. What do you do with those kind of conversations? Do they lift you up? No. They tear you down. Why then engage in it? It's a waste of time. If I'm your brother and I offend you, who should you come to? Who should you come to? Exactly. Why do you go to somebody else about something that somebody else did? See, this backbiting and slander is a hateful thing, but it tears us down from within. See, this is the way the white man is going to try to work, brothers and sisters, on the nation. He must destroy my base of support, not only in the people, but destroy my base of support among the Muslims. Is Brother Ben here?
So there you have it, family. The minister breaking that down. And why backbiting, slander, and gossip is so detrimental, because not only does it affect your relationships, but it is used as a tool to destroy the movements and the leaders that are here to help change our condition. I don't know if you've seen the condition of black people lately, but we in terrible shape. We trying to get reparations. We was enslaved for 310 years physically, chattel slavery. Then we've been in a mental bondage. Since then, we've had Reconstruction where we was getting ourselves together. Then they had all of the night rides and they had the red summers. They had, all of these different things where, white people was retaliating against us for trying to come up out of slavery, taking positions of office, becoming entrepreneurs, building our own cities and towns. They come in, bombing it, claiming that we was messing with white people and lynching and killing us. Then we got Jim Crow and redlining and all of this kind of stuff. And now we got the weaponization of hip hop and the weaponization of food and water and air against us to turn ourselves against ourselves, to continue to act other than ourselves. All of this is against us to keep us in a type of condition that will have us going down the world with the world of Satan. Because there's a time, it's prophesied in the Bible, when God would come and end the rule of Satan. So Satan's rule was coming to an end, but what he wants to do now, after he's done all of those things I mentioned to you and turn you other than yourself into him. So now you a black white man running around here doing his bidding and acting like himself. You've adopted his language. You've adopted his names. You've adopted his culture. You've adopted his mannerisms. You've adopted everything about him you do. You don't even know what you do. You don't even know anything about yourself. Everything you do is a reflection of him. So he's created a Frankenstein of a Negro called Negro, a Frankenstein called Negro, and he's taking us down with him. Because the God has now come and given you some truth, giving you some light, giving you some guidance to shine in your forehead, to take you out of the grave of ignorance, the darkness of the sins of your enemy. And instead of you taking the light and changing your life with it, you reject that truth and fall victim to the hands and plans of Satan. So this gossip and backbiting stuff, that's all, everything that he does. Let me show you. I'm going into the Supreme Wisdom real quick, because the Supreme Wisdom says this. It says, why did we let half original man Columbus discover the poor part of the planet Earth? This is the answer. Because the original man is the God and owner of the earth and knows every square inch of it. And has chosen for himself the best part. He did not care about the poor part. He did not care about the poor part. Well, you read this part of that, and the first thing you do is you think about this being physical. You on the physical aspect of it, and you thinking about land mass and settling on the best part because you the God and you know every square inch of it, and that's part of it. But there's a deeper spiritual meaning that goes into that as well. That deeper spiritual meaning is what? That the original man is the God and owner of the earth and knows every square inch of it and has chosen for himself the best part. Well, if you're the God of the earth and your father is God of the heavens and the earth, then you know every square inch of your father. You know every square inch of the nature in which your father has made you in righteousness, in his image, in his likeness. So that righteousness, you know every square inch of it and have chosen for yourself the best part, which is to be like your father, God himself. That's the best part. You chose that for yourself. You did not care about the poor part. It didn't say that you didn't know that the poor part was there. So when you looking at your brothers and your sisters and you dealing with them and you dealing with us, there's a poor part there. You know that. We all know there's a poor part in every last one of us. But if you're the God of the earth and you know every square inch of your brother and sister the same as you know yourself, because the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, every time I see a black man, I see God. Every time I look at a black man, I'm looking at God. So if you see a black man and a black woman and you looking at God, then you don't care about the poor part of that individual. You settle on the best part of the individual. So that means not to air out personal dirty laundry, especially on social media. That's settling on the poor part. If you're going to get into that, if you want to consume gossip and consume lies and consume slander, that means you settling on the poor part of that person or these people. And that's not what the God has come to do. Right? It's not what the God has come to do. Not to have us settling on the poor part of each other. The lessons say that we know the best part. And we chose the best part for ourselves. See, we the God and the owner of the earth, and we know every square inch of it, and we chose the best part for ourselves. So why would you choose to settle on the poor part of your brother and sister? That's a question. That's a question. So that's just the supreme wisdom on God as it pertains to gossiping and backbiting, because that's settling on the poor part. When you want to accept the lies that somebody might tell, somebody bring you some information. But look, let's get up into this right here. This is the Restrictive Law of Islam book. Now, I know the Muslims that watch this, they don't really open this book. This is probably dusty for them. But this is how we go about our lives. This is the Restrictive Law of Islam is our success. Well, in this green book, the minister goes into number 15, slack talk and gossip. What is Brother Minister saying about this? Slack talk and gossip is forbidden. Well, what is slack talk? The minister says is the type of conversation that is loose, negligent, and careless. Loose, negligent, and careless is the type of conversation that slack talk is. All right? Gossip is what? Rumor or talk of personal, sensational, or intimate nature. A person who habitually spreads intimate or private rumors or facts. Trivial, chatty talk or writing. So if you do a lot of pillow talking, you're doing a lot of gossiping. If you real heavy with the chatty patty, then you're doing a lot of gossiping. Okay? So listen. For those that are just coming in, this is your brother King Cam. We are on Shifting the Culture Podcast, and we're discussing Tasha K and the best friend of Will Smith coming out stating, Will Smith personal business. That's what I'm going to say. You can go watch the video. We played it earlier. I'm not going to play it again because we're not here to defame anybody, right? We're not going to be gossiping. but we highlighting the principle of the fact that the brother that came on Tasha K's show and decided that he wanted to leave her with that information. He wanted to come on the podcast on that platform and give that information. Well, what was your motive? Why would you not think of your brother Will Smith better if that was supposedly your friend at one time? Even if y'all wasn't as close as you used to be, what could he have done when you decided you're going to come out and do this? I mean, what amount of money do they have to pay you to do something like this? It probably wasn't that much. When you think about the brother who became an agent of the Black Panther Party, specifically became the head of security right under our brother Fred Hampton, who was the chairman in Chicago, they didn't pay that brother a lot of money to set up Fred Hampton. You know, to give the apartment, to give the layout of the apartment to the authorities. Once it's all said and done, they did not pay him a lot of money. I forgot the name of the movie. It's called Judas something. I don't know if it's called, it's something Judas. But you watch that movie, it's about the brother that turned agent against Fred Hampton and the Black Panther Party. And he was the one that turned over all the information to have our brother Fred Hampton killed. So they don't pay you a lot of money for this stuff. So I could imagine that whatever this brother is being paid to come out and say this stuff about Will Smith is not really a whole lot of money. And it's not worth the character assassination that he's going to take, because people, even now, if you even notice, honestly, some of our people are even beginning to be turned off. Like, what type of person do you have to be to do what he did to somebody that gave you an opportunity, that gave you a platform, that shouted you out, put you in a book, like looked out for you and your family, made sure you ate at a particular point in time. And this is what you do. Peace to the gods. So we're just talking about the mindset of a person now. Tasha K said it. I mean, who needs enemies when they got friends like you? I mean, see, the scripture says, if it had been an enemy, I think he said, if it had been an enemy or a far off enemy, I could have guarded against it. But it was one who came in and out the temple with me. See, that's talking about your companions. That's why you got to watch your circle, because the one that really can do the most damage is not a person that's hating from afar or a person that's looking from the outside in, but it's those people that's up in the circle. It's people that's around you and who know intimate details about you, who are the most dangerous. So the minister goes into a more about slack talk and gossip. He says, do you know how easy it is for you to talk slack? Slack talk is that kind of cheap talk, gossip that weakens faith in a believer. Even if what you're talking about is true, how will it help to get on the phone and say what you heard, what you saw, and you spread it around among the believers? That weakens the brotherhood. And then you do stuff like that. And then what happens when you find out it's all wrong? Everything that you stated was wrong. But you can't take it back now. You can't take it back now. So it's out in the atmosphere, but you can't take it back. And now you damage the reputation of somebody. So the minister goes on to say that the reason we have to study our lessons until we learn them is because the things that are in the lessons are going on all the time. Question number 4, lost found. Muslim lesson number 1. We just talked about this. Asks, oh no, we didn't talk about this one. It asks, why did we run Yaqub and his maid devil from the root of civilization? And the answer is because they had started making trouble among the righteous people, telling lies. They accused the righteous people, causing them to fight and kill one another. This is happening right now in society. People now going around telling lies on one another. People going around making trouble, telling lies, and accusing people, causing each other to fight and kill one another. This was going on right now. This was happening right on Tasha K podcast all the time. People going around telling lies, causing people to fight and kill one another. It happened all the time on all these big blog posts, on these big blog websites and media companies. People telling lies, causing people to fight, going back and forth. You just seen what happened with Erica Mena and Spice. Like all of these different things that are taking place, telling lies, right? Arguing back and forth with one another, causing people to fight and kill one another. And who look crazy at the end of the day? We do. Because it's mostly us. We don't have no shame. We do it on TV. We don't do it in private. We do it on TV. So everybody can see us acting a fool. See? People just accuse. And they'll start in the ranks accusing somebody, which could be slack talk, gossip, or slander. And this causes people to look at each other funny. This is why you have to be careful with the things that you say about people, because those who are listening take that information and they do other things with that information. So you have to be careful about the things that you say. All right? And look at this. Minister getting to the scripture with it, going to the Bible. It's in the book of James, chapter 3, verses 1 through 10. Where James is talking about the tongue. He says, my brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, and able also to bridle the whole body. Behold, we put bits in the horses' mouths, that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. Behold also the ships, which though they be so great, and are driven of fierce winds, yet are they turned about with a very small helm. Whithersoever the governor listeneth, even so the tongue is a little member, and boasts great things. So the minister break that down for us. He says, if any of you have ridden a horse, you know that the little thing in the mouth of the horse called the bit is what gives the rider power to direct the horse. The bit is small, but look how big the horse is. See? So it's talking about our tongues. It's talking about the bit that's in the horse's mouth that allows you to control the head, that allows you to control the movement of the horse. Small things, big power. It talks about the ships and how great and mighty the ships are. But it's turned by a small helm. And then it says, even so the tongue is a little member and boasts of great things. That's why we got to be careful what we say. The words that we say, family, can hurt. And this is what we was talking about last week when we was talking about D1 and what he said. And then when he started name dropping Rose and Meek Mill and Jim Jones and all these other artists, people was confused about why the brother was receiving backlash and why the brothers have received what D1 said in the way they received it, not because the message was wrong, because D1 was spot on with the message. But it's the way that he said it. See, it's the way that it came out the mouth. Even so, the tongue is a little member and boasts of great things. See, the way it came out but was offensive. And you can hurt people, harm people, thrash people with the tongue. So it goes on to say, behold how great a matter a little fire kindleth. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. for every kind of beast and of birds and of serpents and of things in the sea is tamed and hath been tamed of mankind. But the tongue can no man tame. Wow. But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil full of deadly poison. Therewith bless we God, even the Father, and therewith curse we men, which are made after the similitude of God. Out of the same mouth proceedeth blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not so to be. That's heavy. It says, out of the same mouth proceedeth blessing and cursing. The minister says, how we have been using our tongues has destroyed and set on fire the course of nature. And now we all are on a course of hell. The enemy is among us, and the enemy is listening to us. And whenever we talk on the phone and speak ill words about one another, the enemy can seize upon that and begin to create tensions that bring about bloodshed. So it says in Surah 49, and who mentioned Surah 49 earlier? Brother Stephen mentioned Surah 49 earlier. Look how the God work. It brings us all the way back full circle, family. For those of us who are just joining us, we talking about slack talk, backbiting, gossip, what happened on Tasha K with Will Smith, former best friend, and how this is detrimental stuff. This is Shifting the Culture Podcast. This is the things that we got to look at. This is why you got to tune in, because you're not going to get this type of teaching nowhere else. They're going to talk about what Tasha K said. They're going to talk about what the best friend said. They're going to talk about, all of this stuff. They're going to talk about Will, but they're not going to talk about the principle. They're not going to talk about how slack talk, backbiting, and gossiping is harming society, harming relationships, destroying business, destroying the liberation movement. The enemy's using that to keep us in this position that we in. They're not going to talk about that. It says in Surah 49, O you who believe, avoid most of suspicion, for surely suspicion in some cases is sin. And spy not, nor let some of you backbite others. Does one of you like to eat the flesh of his dead brother? You abhor it and keep your duty to Allah. Surely Allah is oft returning to mercy, merciful. Stop backbiting, family. Stop gossiping. Stop slandering. Stop speaking on things that you have no knowledge of, because that's not what Allah likes. The God does not like for us to behave in that particular manner, especially when we're dealing with our people. The Bible says we made in his image and his likeness. Psalm says, ye are all God's children of the most high God. So if this is you and you call yourself a child of God, why are you behaving like a child of Satan? Think about that. Think about that, because that's what's going on. And the next time somebody wants to gossip with you about somebody else, think about it now. It's not just about the person that's slandering and defaming and bringing you the information, but it's also you who engage, who indulge, who lend your ear to it. The Holy Quran said, if it was not for the mercy of Allah in this world and the hereafter, there would have certainly been a chastisement on the account of what you indulged in. That's the Holy Quran. That's just it. Facts. Facts. All right? It's real talk. All right, family? So listen. Let's not continue to gossip. Let's go ahead and exit ourselves out of that group chat if you in one. You should enlighten the people who are in the group chat and let them know, hey, listen, we're going to stop talking about people in here. If that's what y'all want to talk about, then I can't be a part of it. See, take yourself up out of situations like that. That's all. Just remove yourself. That's all you got to do. And you'll be all right. But that's how we have to shift the culture. Begin to push the people in our circle who like to do that. Push them in another direction. Sometimes removing yourself will help them. What's going on, Brother Nathan? Yeah. Tell him, I don't want to hear that. Talk about how we going to get this money. Talk about how we going to secure this bag. How we going to leverage this credit. Talk to me about that. Don't talk to me about nothing nobody else is doing, what you suspect they doing, what you heard they doing. I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. You don't even want to listen to it. And the Holy Quran says that. You shouldn't even want to hear it. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to talk about it. None of that. And see, we have to begin to clean ourselves up because as a people, as a society, we have become like pigs. The minister in Torchlight of America broke down how the society has become like swine. What do you mean, Brother Cam? Like swine. Swine, if you look at pigs, study them. You eat them all the time, study them. Go to where they alive and just watch how they keep their nose to the ground all the time in search of more food, more filth. More food, more filth. Their nose is constantly in the ground, in the mud, in the dirt, looking for more filth to consume. Well, how have the people become like swine? Because you now have a snout like a pig. And you keep it on the ground, in the dirt shade room, in the mud neighborhood talk, in the dirt, in the filth of gossip and slander, so that you can constantly consume the filth. That's how you have become like swine. Because you love filth. You love gossip. You love slander. You love the flesh, the dead flesh of your brother and sister. You love to eat it. That's why these media outlets got so many followers. That's why the platforms are so big. They get so much engagement because we love to talk about somebody else. We love to gossip. I'll go on Shade Room and see how many of my friends on there. I see so many people I know comment on there. But if you see them in person, they'll tell you all day, up and down, straight up and down. They don't do no gossiping. They don't talk about nobody. But they all up on these blog sites. All up on them. Not giving guidance. Not giving game. But giving their opinion on the story that's taking place. And not trying to raise the level of conversation. But they have the conversation in a low vibrational position. And they keeping it there. Why? Because they have snouts like swine, like pigs, and they want to keep it on the ground, keep it on a low vibrational level so that they can continue to consume the filth. Listen, that's all I got, family. What's up, Jay White? Wa alaikum salam, brother. What's going on, Sister Kim? Appreciate you coming through. Sister Kim came through, tapped in. Yeah, we closing out now, family. What's going on, Brother Jay? Yeah, we closing out right now. But tonight, we was discussing, what happened, what's going on with Will Smith. It's circulating throughout the news cycles right now. And, we really had to get into the mind of the brother that brought that news to Tasha K. And we really got to, think about that. And then we have to think about what's the motive behind him bringing that type of news to Tasha K. And then we went into the Holy Quran and how it broke down gossip and slander. And why you think it's trifle, why you think it's of little importance, little value. It's serious with Allah. That's what the Holy Quran says. It's serious with God when you gossip about people. You think it's a minute. You think it's something small, but the God says, no, sir. No, ma'am. So there's a chastisement for us. And that's why we're always going through stuff. Think about when you're going through something the last time you gossip about somebody. I guarantee you it's connected. It's connected. So we got to encourage each other. Lift one another up. If somebody entrusts you with personal information, don't take that personal information and put it on Front Street. If you find out something about somebody and you got questions, you pull them to the side. You don't put it in public. See, that's how we handle one another so that we can preserve one another. We can cover down on one another. You're supposed to cover down on your brother and sister. Not do something that will further injure them. I don't know what's going on with the internet, but it got me slowing down. But we closing up out on this, family. So before though, I want to shout out The Original Products. This is the turmeric and ginger drink. I usually buy 5 of these at FOI class, and they're so good. Organic ginger, turmeric, lemonade, even lavender lemonade. And I want you to make sure you tap in, family. So you can go to www.theoriginalproducts.com. They didn't even ask me to do this for them. But I love the product so much. Between the juices and the pies, between the juices and the bean pies, The Original got it on lock in Atlanta. The Original got it on lock in Atlanta, family. All right? The Original got it on lock in Atlanta. So you want to make sure you tap in. So again, The Original. This is the turmeric ginger drink. As you can see, it's all the way gone almost because I've been drinking on it since early. I dropped the top. But it's so good. It's ginger root. Let me tell you the organic ingredients. Ginger root, turmeric root, lemon juice, pineapple juice, and cane sugar. They don't have no glutamate chloride in it, no niacin, no carbohydrate, whatever. And ain't got no extra stuff in it. Ginger root, turmeric root, lemon juice, pineapple juice, cane sugar. So tap in. www.theoriginalproducts.com. All right, family, we getting up out of here. Internet lagging. We speaking too much truth. We done already been going in for an hour and 20-something minutes. So I appreciate you all for tuning in. Shout out to Philly, who was heavy in the building tonight. Shout out to all the supporters of Shifting the Culture Podcast. Sister Love, Brother Nathan, Fields. Thank you, Sister Kim. For those who want to tune in to future episodes, because we have a show each and every Tuesday. All right. If you want to be a part of our community, then the number is at the bottom. Text STC Podcast to 888-294-2793. It's scrolling at the bottom. Join our community by texting STC Podcast to 888-294-2793. All right, family, we getting up out of here. Appreciate you all for listening. See you next week. Assalamu alaikum.
Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own.
You know. Not your average nigga, I'm a guy out the hood. They can't downplay me. I came up, I'm elevated. I ain't gotta say too much for them to know I'm coming for what's mine. You know they see me in my presence, say they see how I'm coming. Young, but you not just gonna finesse me like you did my peoples. Then back when you said they was emancipated. This ain't that. Your head too big, you feeling yourself. The game wasn't fair, you had the advantage, we wasn't educated. I don't look at you people the same. Nah. Your worst nightmare, my skin tone about them chains. Yeah. Not no circus lion, son, I can't be tamed. You gon' have to kill me, pussy, Toby ain't my name. Y'all still want us think our history started when we were slaves? What? Come on now, talk about them pyramids we made. I was chosen by that man, you know y'all just been running game. The nerve of you acting like